You don't need more motivation. You don't need a better morning routine. You need a different relationship with time. Because the way you currently measure it may be the reason your output never truly multiplies. There is a quiet rule most high performers follow, often without naming it. It is not about working longer. It is not about moving faster. It is about compression. And once you see it, you start noticing a pattern. Most people treat time as something to fill. Successful systems treat time as something to concentrate. Look at a typical workday. Hours stretch loosely. Tasks expand to fit the space available. Deadlines sit far enough away to feel abstract. When time feels abundant, urgency disappears. When urgency disappears, intensity fades. And intensity, not duration, is what multiplies output. This is the first contradiction. We are taught that productivity is about managing more hours. But in practice, output rises when hours feel scarce. Why? Because constraints force decisions. When you only have 45 focused minutes, distractions become expensive. When you block 3 uninterrupted hours, shallow tasks become intolerable. The time rule is simple. Reduce the time available for meaningful work and protect it completely. Not by shrinking effort, by shrinking availability. Notice what happens in environments where time is limited. Exams, deadlines, boardroom presentations, clarity increases, energy sharpens, irrelevant actions disappear. But outside of those artificial constraints, most days are designed without edges. Notifications interrupt, meetings fragment, tasks scatter across the calendar like loose debris. The result? Continuous motion, minimal depth. Now consider this. If you had only 2 hours per day to produce real results, what would survive? Not email threads, not minor optimizations, not reactive conversations. Only the work that moves something forward. That is the hidden leverage. The time rule does not ask you to do more. It forces you to identify what actually matters. Because when time is compressed, priorities reveal themselves. There is another layer to this. Open-ended time invites perfectionism. You revise, adjust, polish, delay. But when the clock is deliberately tightened, perfection gives way to completion, and completion compounds. Output doubles not because you became more talented, but because friction was removed. Most people underestimate how much of their day is diluted by partial attention. 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there, a constant return to unfinished work. Every restart carries a hidden cost. Focus rebuilds slowly, momentum fractures quietly. So the time rule introduces containment, defined windows, clear boundaries, non-negotiable focus. When the window closes, the task ends. Over time, something shifts. You stop stretching effort, you start compressing impact. Think about this carefully. If your current workflow allows tasks to expand indefinitely, what incentive exists to finish decisively? Loose time creates loose standards. Compressed time demands clarity. This is why some individuals produce more in 4 focused hours than others do in 10 scattered ones. Not because they care more, but because their structure leaves no room for drift. There is something unsettling about realizing this, because it suggests the bottleneck is not capacity, it is design. Calendars that stretch endlessly, workdays without protected blocks, attention traded freely for accessibility. When everything is possible at any moment, nothing is finished with force. So the rule becomes simple, but not easy. Choose fewer hours. Guard them aggressively. Define what must be built within them, then stop. No extensions, no slow leakage, no silent expansions. And observe. At first it feels restrictive, then it feels focused. Eventually it feels liberating, because you are no longer measuring productivity by time spent. You are measuring it by value created inside constraint. This reframes the entire equation. The question is no longer, how many hours did I work? It becomes, how concentrated was the effort inside the hours that mattered? And once that question becomes your metric, output changes. Not gradually, immediately. But here is the deeper question. If doubling output is this dependent on time compression, why is your schedule still open-ended? What would happen if tomorrow had edges? If your most important work had a defined window, and everything else adapted around it? Would your priorities become clearer? Would distractions feel less acceptable? Would results accelerate? Consider experimenting with the rule before dismissing it. Not by adding more time, by reducing it. Protect one defined window, concentrate fully, stop when it ends, then compare the outcome. You may discover that the real multiplier was never effort. It was structure. And that realization changes how you